Hello, my name is Dr. Jessica Stone, and I am very pleased to be here with you today. I'm here to talk with you about the high efficacy of virtual reality healthcare applications for improving patient mental health, client mental health. I am the CEO and co-founder and co-creator of the Virtual Sandtray app for iOS and for virtual reality. And as I said, super happy to be here. So let me explain a little bit about what we are doing. In 2011, when the tsunami hit in Japan, we had a lot of conversations with a good friend and colleague in Japan, Dr. Akiko Odnogi, and she was looking for materials to work with the families and the people who were affected by this tsunami. And so in that conversation, we started talking about traditional Sandtray therapy work and how that would be possible in such a scenario when you needed materials and there just weren't things that were available, and then you were working with large numbers of people. So I started thinking, we really need to have something portable for this very powerful tool of Sandtray. And that's where the idea for Virtual Sandtray came up. Originally, we started with iOS and then quickly started to realize that virtual reality has such a powerful place in mental health treatment and wanted to go ahead and program it for virtual reality as well. So we did that in 2016 and we started the iOS version in 2011 and have been patented in the US. So it's been quite a ride. Let's get into a little bit more of what this is. So basically, traditional Sandtray therapy was started and originated in the early 1900s by Dr. Margaret Lowenfeld. And since then, it's expanded. Many practitioners have taken it in different directions, but that was the fundamental. And traditionally, it is a tray, wooden box typically, that then would have sand in it, and then a variety of little miniatures that would depict different things either in day-to-day life or fantasy, whatever it is that would be needed and desired by the client to be able to take their inner world, their inner experiences, their emotions and whatnot, and be able to project it out onto something else in a non-verbal way. So a person can speak, but they don't need to. It is a way for them to be able to really be immersed in the process of the creation of their world and to be able to communicate the things they need to reach their therapeutic goals. As I said, we have it for iOS, would be a tablet, which iPhone, mobile device, or a tablet, which would be the iPad. And that is because it is a native app and has to do with the processor and the speed and power of those and what's needed at this point for Virtual Sandtray. Then we have it for virtual reality and the Vive, the Quest 2, and the Rift S. And then pretty soon we'll have it for the HP Omnicept as well. So the Virtual Sandtray app is really, and for virtual reality, is really geared toward gathering emotional information, psychosocial information, understanding the client's sense of themselves, their place in the world, how relationships work, all of those types of really fundamental things that we work with in therapy, understanding the client's emotional state, intervene as appropriate, and then formulating and implementing your treatment plans and your case conceptualizations as the clinician. We really are bringing that inner world out and those experiences out so that the client can express them, look at them, evaluate them. The therapist can then, a mental health professional can then also look at the material and understand within the context of what the person's difficulties are, issues, experiences, whatnot, and be able to help them move forward. It is atheoretical, which means that we are not ascribing some theory to the process. The clinician brings their theory, their foundation, how they utilize the tool into the session and uses this as the tool to be able to express and gather that information. When we're talking about telemental health, which is what a lot of people have been doing since we've started COVID in some fashion, either 100% or some percentage, what we found is without the proper materials and the proper approach, the client can experience some frustration, some boredom within the sessions, and a lower level of engagement than they may have in an in-person session. What we have found when you have the proper materials and approach is that you can have a highly engaging, motivating, immersive interaction. And that can yield critical psychosocial, emotional, and diagnostic intervention information. So what we're doing is we're combining the powerful tool of Sandtray that has been around for almost 100 years with the powerful tool that is digital tools within a therapeutic environment and situation, and combining that with the client interest and the client's natural language, if they are a digital native, of course, or if they are someone who's a digital immigrant and they have adopted this, and bringing those all together in a way to utilize this in a clinically appropriate session-only tool. Meeting the client and the practitioner needs, we're talking about in-person mental health services, medical interventions, and educational, and telehealth assessment services and interventions. The worlds that are created can look very, very different. So you can just imagine the worlds that can be created. And you see here just a couple of different depictions of what people can create. Let's look at a beta demo video that's available on YouTube. This is the virtual reality version. You can see the sand tray there. It was just painted green for grass. We have a background. We can go ahead and put other paints onto the surface of the tray. And we are up above the tray right now, looking down. And a little bit in the video, you'll see that we'll go down to the level of the sand. Here we have digging. So we've gone down one layer and you can just have a hole in the sand, or you can go down more than one layer and then get to a liquid layer, which is what this is. And in just a few moments, we'll show you how you can change that liquid layer as well. You can also build up the sand, which is what we're doing right now. We're raising up the level of that sand so that you can have a little hill, or you can have more of a mountain. You can go up number of layers there. Then we can go ahead and place our items. So this is like the little miniature representations that you would put in the traditional tray. We have over 7,000 3D models available, which means there's a very good chance that your client would be able to depict what it is they would like to depict in their world. Here we're placing some animals. You can place a variety of different animals. You can resize them, you can rotate them, you can move them around, you can have them levitate. There's all sorts of things that you can do with these different models, and so that your world can be depicted in a way that is meaningful for you / for the client. I tend to play with this as well, so I'm also talking about it for me. But here, as you can see, we're going to rotate these animals around, and in just a moment, we'll be making them bigger, and you'll be able to get a sense of that. Really, the idea here is that the client can take the neutral box of sand and create a world that is meaningful to them, either to interact with themselves or to depict some type of scene that has interaction, or to have it be fantasy, to have it be realistic. It's a multi-leveled, multi-layered depiction of what it is that they need to express and work through. Here we've come down closer, closer, closer to the surface of the tray so that we can get next to this dragon beast here. We're going to show the animation of this so we can have that animation be activated. It was standing, now it's got its wings around, now it's standing again. We have different things that move in different ways. They can fly, they can move their head around, breathe. We also have items that don't have any movement whatsoever to them. Here we have our skyboxes. As you can see, this is part of that multi-leveled, multi-layered depiction. You can have a scene that is congruent. You can have a happy-go-lucky scene with a happy-go-lucky background. You can have a happy-go-lucky scene with a foreboding background. You can have background that meets. If it's a foreboding scene, then you can have a foreboding background, whatever it is that your client would like. If it's incongruent, then that tells us something as clinicians. Here we have the liquid layer. So we're altering this liquid in the bottom there. Now it's back to blue, but we have poison, we have lava, we have all sorts of things. Again, part of that multi-leveled, multi-layer depiction. So these scenes can look very, very different, as you saw in that past slide. And this one that we're seeing here happens to be animals and different paints and digging, but they can look very, very different depending on what the needs are. All right. Just a couple of partnership and endorsing information here. We're partnered with Hopscotch, which is a telehealth platform. We're endorsed by the Dr. Margaret Lowenfeld Trust, which is a very, very big honor in our world. We have research studies going on by Children's of Alabama and the University of Alabama, currently doing a pain study with pediatric burn patients. And then we have had some research done with Deakin University and also South Dakota State University. Thank you so much for your time and energy and attention today. Really, really appreciate it. This tool in virtual reality is so amazingly powerful so that one can interact with their world. And we hope that you have enjoyed seeing what we have been working on for the last 10 years and will continue to do so. If you want to contact me, I'd be happy to talk with you, answer questions. I'm always looking for people to partner with, have more research done, have more products be created. So please reach out, jessicastone@gmail.com. jessicastonepHD@gmail.com. And then our website, virtualsandtray.org, and then my business website, which is jessicastonepHD.com. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.